podcast by Mass Productions, where we add mass to truth. Today's episode title is Elevating Voices, Ending Kanihit, a call for food security. We're going to talk about a very serious issue, Mindanao's food insecurity. And joining us later are our special guests, Mr. Serrano, Mr. Guevara, and Ms. Bansal.
Yes, Supernatural. We have plenty of guests for today's episode. I guess it's because food security is something that we should discuss and it's very worth advocating for.
Exactly. And we need many people to engage and be aware of this topic because, as we all know, food insecurity is detrimental not just for the people but also for the country. That is why the government needs to step up its game in supporting agricultural development and local farmers.
I agree with you. The administration has to enhance productivity and consequently the production of food.
I wonder what's the take of the public on this. How about you listeners? What are your thoughts about this issue?
I would like to know too, but enough with the tomfoolery. Let's dig more into this issue. In 2008, the Social Weather Station's survey showed that more or less 20 million hungry Filipinos could not afford to buy decent food for their meals. Among different island regions in the country, Mindanao was reported to have the highest incidence at 33.7%, or roughly 7 million of more than 21.5 million Mindanaoans who suffered from hunger.
That's so sad. My heart aches for the impoverished who couldn't afford to sustain their needs. Well, there is no doubt that a significant proportion of the Philippines experiences hunger. This reflects the major problems of poverty and underdeveloped agriculture that struggles to meet the quota of production, which is appropriate to the needs of the people.
Same. Imagine how hard it would be for them to endure their hunger. How I wish everyone had enough food on their table. Relating to Christian morality, it is a general norm of the human person to be created in the image of God, as well as to be an embodied subject. And as such, human person must be able to live a decent and respectable life, with a comfortable living, especially an ample amount of food to eat. The topic relates to the general norm of the human person as historical subject, which entails that we can develop to a point wherein no one will be hungry over time. Here's another thing. Mindanao's labor productivity in agriculture continues to decline.
Yeah, I think it's because our farmers lack resources. I also heard that agricultural producers from the various provinces of Mindanao have had difficulties meeting their population's demand for rice. I'm curious what's the reason behind this.
According to research, chronic food insecurity in Mindanao is caused by poor accessibility and utilization. Food inaccessibility is mainly due to limited purchasing power, limited livelihood, or employment opportunities, illiteracy, and low educational levels.
I agree, and I think one of our guests here agrees too. Please welcome Mr. Guevara.
Hello everyone.
Hi everyone, I'm Guevara, Boo for short. I'm a student who advocates for zero hunger, and I'm excited to share my thoughts about the topic.
Yes, we would love that. Welcome to the podcast, Boo.
Okay, let's get started. Personally, I found this issue very significant. In my 18 years of living, I'm grateful that my family has enough food served at our table. I couldn't imagine the stress of having a growling stomach every single day. While food security does not only carry significant benefits for human health, but also serves as the basis to achieve sustained economic growth. This is one predictor of ill health.
How? Can you expand more, please?
You know, food insecurity was linked to higher rates of obesity, diabetes, asthma, and other chronic conditions. It is said that food insecure people experience stress, anxiety, and depression. This is because they may not have access to healthy and nutritious food options, forcing them to rely on cheaper and more processed meals that are rich in calories but low in nutrients.
I see. Do you think food insecurity is a consequence of policy decisions?
Yes, in a way, food insecurity has been linked to low wages, adverse social and economic conditions, and limited access to healthy foods. Hunger is prevalent, yet often goes unnoticed, and its prevalence remains steadily on the rise. That's why the government needs to take action. Our local farmers need support. Without them, we wouldn't be able to enjoy affordable and safe food.
You're right. I strongly believe they can be the solution to this problem. I hope the agricultural sector gets what they deserve.
I hope so too. The sector is important for inclusive growth, with agriculture being the key driver of the economy in the rural areas where most Filipinos live.
For sure, many Filipinos will do their part to support the call of the farmers.
Great. That is all for my talk.
Great.
I hope I have shared
That's all for
something
my talk.
meaningful. Thank you
I
very
hope I
much.
shared something
Thank you
meaningful.
for that wonderful
Thank you
talk.
very much.
So, Nicole, what was your main takeaway from Buban's talk? His insights were extremely impactful to me.
My major takeaway is that having enough food to keep our bellies full and bodies running is a fundamental right, not a privilege. Everyone here on earth needs food in their system to survive. No one is an exception, and as human beings, it is our responsibility to help and advocate for the common good. Alright, moving on to our next guest. He will explain the relevance of UN Sustainable Development Goals to the chosen topic. Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Lance Serrano.
Hello everyone, thanks for having me. Hello there, I'm Lance Serrano, also a student who cares for the stomach of everyone. Kidding aside, thank you so much guys for having me. I hope everyone listening is doing well.
Yes, we hope you're also doing well, Lance.
Before anything else, SDG 2, Zero Hunger, seeks sustainable solutions to end hunger in all its forms by 2030 and to achieve food security. The aim is to ensure everyone has enough good quality food to lead a healthy life. But with the lack of support for the local farmers, resources are scarce, resulting in low agriculture productivity and inadequate food.
And how does this connect to SDG 2?
The conflict alone impacts food security, so the chosen topic plays a central role in safeguarding the region's food supply and achieving the second UN's SDG of Zero Hunger by 2030. Furthermore, addressing the root causes of conflict can help to create a more stable environment for agriculture and food production, which will help to further SDG 2 achievement.
Very well, great point, Lance.
Thanks, Nicole. It is human beings' nature to give and help other people, and this SDG aims to recognize the food insecurity in Mindanao. Rooting for the goodness of every citizen, I hope I made sense. Thank you for listening.
Wow, those are beautiful words to hear from our second speaker. Now, we need tips on how we can contribute to solving this social problem.
Oh gosh, that's an issue. I feel like we need some expertise in this matter.
You're right. I think it's time to call our last guest for this episode.
Hold up. Who's our last guest and what knowledge do they bring to the table?
Our group's researcher, the one and only Miss Pooja Bansal, all the way from the other side of the globe.
You heard it right. Miss Girl lives in Thailand, so she'll only join us virtually to discuss personal responsibility and action. I give you Miss Pooja Bansal.
Hello, ladies and lovely listeners. I'm Pooja Bansal, also a student, and I'm happy to be here today. Now, let's get started. To solve the social problem, alternative course of action includes increasing sustainable crop production. Now, you're probably wondering, Pooja, how can this help? Well, this would improve crop productivity and allow farmers to meet the rising demand for food.
Cool. Good luck with the production cost though.
Oh, you've got a point. But aside from the production costs, crop production will also become more difficult with other SDG goals that are yet to meet, such as climate change, resource scarcity, and environmental degradation. Another way we may contribute to our social problem is to experiment with backyard farming or urban agriculture, which is a sustainable method of generating food that can help lessen the negative environmental implications of crop production. It can also encourage community interaction and offer urban residents access to fresh and healthful products.
Yes, we have that at home, and it's very convenient because we just harvest crops there. We have stable food and we don't need to go outside to buy.
Wow, that's amazing. You're motivating me to start mine now. But, anyways, back to our topic. The third action is that governments and aid organizations must invest in the infrastructure and education necessary to create viable economic systems for farmers.
That's nice. Farmers should be taught and implement sustainable farming techniques.
Now, last but not the least, assisting locals with sustainable management of local natural resources through soil conservation, water harvesting, rehabilitating irrigation systems, and finally reducing the loss of biodiversity. This method will not only benefit local communities' livelihood, but will also contribute to global efforts to achieve sustainable development goals. Now, I think that's it. I hope everyone will do their part to achieve zero hunger.
Thanks, Pooja. We commend you for our dedication in researching.
After we've learned and discussed some of our insights, I think it's time to think about how we can apply these insights in our daily lives and work toward our objectives. Consider specific actions we can take and create a plan to carry them out.
I agree. This way, we can ensure that our time and resources are being used efficiently and effectively.
We hope we were able to discuss this social topic clearly.
We also hope that our conversation has shed light on the issue's complexities and promoted you, the audience, to take action toward finding a solution and taking action.
And that's a wrap. This has been Naxon.
And I'm Nicole, and this is the Between the Lines podcast.
Was unnoticed. And in its prevalence,
For our special guest, Mr. Serrano. Uy! Magawas ka! Mr. Ayaw na. Lain? Kay! Ganun. Ay, sa bagay. Sige, ano na?
Check. And as such, and especially an ample amount of food to eat.
Bay, usapa. Dili! Makatapos! Mapulit! Sinigol, bay!
Decent and respectable life. With a comfortable living, especially an ample amount of food to eat. Because food security is something that we should advocating for.
Oh my God, nakatunog na ko diri. Minus one.
And it's because food security is something. It's because food security is something that we should.
Thank you guys. I love you guys.